All right, what's up, guys? It is time for mine and Ethan's market update. This is for April of 2023. And yes, it is another wild month here in real estate. First of all, Ethan, how are you doing today? How are you feeling?
Good man. It's it is a wild ride right now. Very interesting times. But I feel like we've been saying it's been interesting, but it's like we're in this sort of this limbo stage of what is next.
I
So
know. Yeah, I feel like every month we get on here, I just feel like me and you are riding a roller coaster of
yeah,
crazy, and we have to just pass our knowledge on to the public of what we're seeing on the ground every day, and it's pretty crazy.
yeah, there's definitely nothing settled right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so unfortunately, we've kind of been on a little bit of a backslide, even from our low units we were already dealing with. So now, in the last few months, I'll just read off the list. In the core five school districts around us, that's Mechanicsburg, Camp Hill, CV, Central Dauphin, and Lower Dauphin. These are the units listed in those school districts. We went from, March 2022, we had 341 units listed, and this past month in March we had 256 units listed, but the big boogeyman here is that the previous 3 months we only had under 200 units listed, and so we hit a really low point as far as inventory is concerned. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Ethan?
My thoughts are we have lack of that's
True.
like that's our main issue, I think, in my opinion. We talk about rates a lot, but I think that the rate market is kind of setting in on folks and becoming that new norm. And just understanding that's where we're at. But yeah, the home sales and the listings are just they're down, and we're in the spring market. So typically we see them increase, but it's not that they haven't increased based off those numbers. They have, but not to a point that we want to see or that we think is going to balance the market. So it's definitely still a seller's market for those well-priced homes, the homes that are priced correctly when they're listed, and the homes that are solid homes. You're not seeing them sit; they're flying off the shelf, but there's not many of them. So that seems to be the issue still.
Yeah, you were sharing a stat with me before we got on here about 21% difference in inventory from last year. Is that right?
Yeah, so 21.1% specifically is the year over year for pending home sales. So that would be home sales that are under contract pending to
Yeah.
be sold. So there's a decline from last year of 21.1%. And that is, I mean, that's going to be due to the fact that there's not inventory out there too.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's a lack of buyers. I mean, I know from my perspective, I have a
Hmm.
ton of pre-approvals out there, and folks that are offering, but it's the inventory that's dragging those numbers down. So it's tough on the finding a home aspect right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned in there the difference between quality inventory and non-quality inventory, and just how drastic of a gap it really is. Because we do have some inventory out there. It's just inventory that's overpriced or needs a lot of work that doesn't make a good return on investment to invest in. And so
Hmm.
we're just seeing a lot of the things that do sit for a while are going to be there for months, because there's a pretty good reason why it's sitting there. And
Hmm.
then there's good inventory that comes up and it's still snatched up immediately. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
as
don't. There's a home in Anvil, so not the core five in Harrisburg, but an Anvil's around the area that I live in. Set over 70 showings. I don't know exactly how many offers, but over 70 showings on that property over that weekend. Crazy, staggering amount of showing. This was a home that was, I think it was listed in the high 200s, low 300s at the most. So it's affordable, but not everybody's looking up to that price range with where the rates are at. So I mean, it's competitive. It is competitive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so every month, everyone wants to know home prices. Are they going to stay high? Is this a new normal? Are we ever going to see home prices come back down again? How strong is appreciation still? So where do you see appreciation going and home prices going, you know, coming this summer?
Yeah, it's a good question because we talked. Oh man, when we first started doing this, we talked about the appreciation that we see coming, and that's not going to be as strong as it was, but it's still going to be there. And we kind of hit the nail on the head, in
Yeah.
my opinion. It's at 4.4% year over year. So like that's not a staggering number. That's a normal number. 4.4% is a very normal number.
Mm,
Um, and I think that, the 20% stuff, we're not gonna, that was COVID oriented. That was crazy.
right.
But
Yep.
one thing that's important to understand is there's reports out there of the home prices, the median home price that has dropped, the sale of it. So there's a difference. So a median home price, that is all the homes that are selling.
Mm,
And then there's a median smack dab point in the middle of what they're selling for. That has dropped, I think it was 0.8% is what we looked at. Okay, so nothing crazy. But
right.
what that could be is, and luxury real estate is sitting longer for sure. Luxury
Yeah.
real estate, higher price stuff, that is sitting longer. So if less of that is selling, that's going to drop your median home price sale. So, that's one thing to understand. That doesn't mean though that your home is not worth more. So there's
Correct.
definitely a difference between appreciation and what homes are selling for, like right at that 50% mark.
Right. You know, that makes perfect sense. And it's it's important to remember those things we learned in math class about the difference between averages and medians and things
Yeah,
like that, because
yeah.
this is where you get into those weeds, you know, for
Well,
sure.
and then, we talk about headlines all the time, right? Like
Yeah.
that type of stuff gets thrown out there and it may look a certain type of way, but you gotta, either dig into it a little bit more or hey, listen to you and I about it. That'd be cool.
Right.
But yeah, you just got to kind of understand it a bit to know what the different reports and stuff that are being thrown out there in the media are really geared towards. Headlines are nowadays are just
Yeah.
relentless and tough to
Mass
trust.
hysteria everywhere. I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
For sure. Okay, so of course, like any other month, we got to talk about interest rates. Like where are interest rates going? Why are they, so high in this
Mm.
market? Assuming that, like we both have a lot of buyers right now that are trying to get things done, and yet interest rates are still high. Like what's your opinion on interest rates and why they are the way they are right now?
Yeah, so they've come off their peak for sure. I think we mentioned that one of the previous ones they were off their peak, and then they popped the next month, and they are back down a bit here. They're okay. They're okay. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some of these programs are in the low sixes right now. If you are able to afford what's called a point, so 1%
Mm,
of your loan amount is what a point equates to. Uh, One time up front, we're seeing the ability to get in the fives again.
yeah.
So
That's
they
awesome.
are getting better. Yeah, they're definitely getting better. There's more room, obviously, for improvement. What we're hearing on our side is low fives by the end of the year.
Mm,
Again, what does low fives look like if you pay that extra point I just mentioned? Maybe you get into the high fours. So we could
that'd be awesome.
potentially be seeing some better stuff there. Um, that's going to drive more buyers back.
Yes,
And
it definitely is. Yeah.
back to our lack of inventory we talked about before, but maybe not. I mean, well, it definitely will. But in term, there are some folks that seem to be setting or settling and staying put in their current home because their interest rate is so low. I've heard that multiple times talking to different bars. Hey,
Yeah,
I got
I
such a
hear that all the time too. Like,
yeah,
why would I move if I can save so many hundreds of dollars every month?
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of why inventory is staying kind of low right now.
Yeah, I think it has. I think there's definitely some sort of impact because of that. So, maybe we do see some more inventory come back when rates are a little bit lower. I don't know. It's tough to tell, but
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna have more competition again. Like we're gonna have more buyers. So hopefully there is more inventory and people are willing to move from one house to another.
right. And real quick for like a lot of people that watch me are first time home buyers. Real quick, why would you pay for points? What's advantageous for a first time home buyer or just any buyer? Why would they want to do that?
Yeah, so it has to make sense, right? Like it has to. There's
Mhm.
going to be a break even point. I mean, to answer your question, is to get a lower rate.
Yeah.
That is the short and skinny to it. But if you're only going to be there for a certain period of time, maybe a couple of years, it typically doesn't make sense. Like there's a break even point that your lender should be helping you out with that says, hey, after 3 years,
Mhm.
that's the point in which paying that point up front it makes sense. So
Right.
if you don't think you're going to be there for 3 years, then maybe you shouldn't do it,
Right.
because at that point you're shooting yourself in the foot a bit. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And we talk about break even points a lot in just when you go to buy a house anyway. Like
yeah,
after 4, 5, 6 years is normally where you start to see a real break even point between the money you put in to buy a house versus coming out ahead financially. So
right, right,
that's
right.
always something you got to weigh when it comes to buying a house and when it comes to paying down your rate in points. So
Right, for
yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
All right. So, Ethan, looking forward, we got the summer coming up. It's starting to get warm.
Yep.
Everyone's taking walks. Everyone's going to the park. It's, 75 degrees again, which is awesome. But, what are you predicting as far as looking forward the next few months? Are we going to see some more inventory, hopefully? I mean, I know that's what you and I hope, but
Yeah.
where did your gut tell you that we're going right now and the
Yeah, I
data that we
hope.
can work off of?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, we definitely hope so. Historically speaking, yeah, more inventory should be coming. So we will, cross our fingers on that.
Mhm.
Inflation has, I don't necessarily want to say cooled, but it's been coming in
Yeah.
like on target to last couple months on target to where the federal government kind of wants it to be in terms of coming down at a steady pace. So that should be better and easier on people's pockets. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've seen egg prices drop. So
That's true. Yeah.
there's
And
that.
gas isn't nearly as bad. I remember there was a time where gas was getting really crazy, and now it's like
Yeah,
in the three and a halfs again, which
yeah,
I remember from high school. So it's not like that insane anymore.
right,
So
right,
yeah.
right, right. So we're starting to see some of that stuff come down, which is good. But that's gonna and that so rates follow inflation. If you see inflation drop, you're gonna see rates drop. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like the telling sign of we have a big report coming out on May 10th. We've been being told to watch this report. It's an inflation report. Watch this report. We've been told since like February. We've been told to watch this. That
Yeah.
could be the sort of tip of when we start to get on the downtrend and when we start to see some rates drop into the summer. So let's hope for more inventory so we can get some more folks in some more homes.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping because it does seem like demand is there. It does seem
It
like
is.
there's a huge crowd of people that have been waiting the whole pandemic to
Mm-hmm.
finally be able to get a house and one that's good quality and get in there for not waiving every single thing in the world in order to get in
Right.
there and pay 50K over asking and all that stuff. I know there's a lot of people that are like, can I just get like a reasonable competition on like a reasonable house? And it's been tough out there for a lot of people. And I know if you've been watching my videos, you probably think that you've probably been like, I can't wait till this is all over. Me and
Yeah.
Ethan have been sweating this out for a few years
Oh, for
now. And
sure. It's been years, right? It's been years. Like literally,
yeah.
we can say it's been years at this point. And it's,
Yep.
it's a roller coaster. It's a trend. It'll change. I don't know when the heck it's gonna change, but
I know. Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If there's any questions that you want to hear Ethan or I answer in the next video for May at this point, let me know. We're gonna definitely keep making these and let you guys know what's happening every single month. And if you're following along, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you need to talk to a lender specifically, of course, talk to Ethan. He would love to help you guys. Get set up with your loan, even in this crazy market that we're living through. And yeah, I'll leave the last word to Ethan. Anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Circle May 10th. That's what we're being told. Circle May 10th. If you guys are watching these, we should see some movement and some positive nature to just the economy in general. So let's circle that date and hope we have some more homes on. And yeah, absolutely happy to help get everybody pre-approved and out there looking with Zach. We'll get you in a home. You got to be patient. You might have to be creative.
Yep.
It's probably not going to be easy. It just is what it is right now. So if you're looking to buy a home, be prepared to be shot down a couple of times. It just
Yep.
that's
That's
what
true.
the market is. So we'll give it to you straight, but we'll also work hard for you.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks.